Hungry puns have been a mainstay of internet culture for a while now, but in all honesty, this pun only really works in the English language and other Germanic languages too, to an extent I guess. As if you need food in Hungarian, you aren't hungry, you are éhes. This pun doesn't even work in Hungary itself. It's not like the country is called éhes in Hungarian. In fact, it has a completely different name, being called Magyarország. Apologies for pronunciation. I definitely think making a video called Why is Magyarország called Hungary in English would be a much more sensible idea, but since when have we gone with sensible on this channel? So today, let's see if Hungary lives up to that pun-filled name. Just how hungry is Hungary? Of course, we ought to look at where that name comes from in the first place. Despite how different Hungary's English and native names might sound, they actually come from the same root, the people who lived in the land. In English, they were known as the Huns, with of course the most famous Hun being Attila, with their land in medieval Latin being Hungaria, which evolved into the name we use today. However, the Huns' name for themselves were the Magyar, and from that name we got their native language name for the country. So, despite what it might seem like to English speakers, the name for this country has nothing to do with the large appetite of the people there. Yet regardless of this, we're still diving into the silly concept of hunger in Hungary. What is the food like over there to begin with? Well, it seems that Hungary's most popular dish is goulash, a type of stew traditionally made in a kettle over fire, primarily with beef, vegetables and seasoning. While goulash seems to be their most popular dish, other popular Hungarian dishes include langos, a deep fried flatbread that looks amazing, halászlé, a fish soup made similarly to traditional goulash, and szumli golushka, a sponge cake topped with chocolate cream, walnut, rum and whipped cream. It's safe to say that there isn't a lack of good food for anyone hungry in Hungary, though never ask me to pronounce Hungarian food again. One of the factors that first came to mind for me when thinking about this question is what is their food production like in Hungary? What is their farming situation like? What crops and animals do they raise best? All very exciting stuff like that. This led me to this very exciting report named The Situation of Hungarian Agriculture by Anna Berger for the Institute of Economics of the Hungarian Academy of Sciences. In this paper, Anna discussed that Hungary's major produces are things like corn, wheat, potato, sunflower seeds, and grapes are their famous Hungarian wine. Livestock is a key part of Hungarian farming too, with all the popular farm animals being bred there, with 40% of their agriculture coming from livestock. The farming scene in Hungary seems to have fluctuated a lot, however. Between 1990 and 2000, farms in Hungary reduced by over 30%, yet in 2018, their Minister of Agriculture expressed that Hungarian agriculture is one of the fastest growing agriculture sectors in Europe, and since 2010 it has grown by 50%, with more than 70,000 jobs being created. In all honesty, I never thought this job would lead me to researching the agriculture scene in Hungary. Hungary's a nation that has been affected by famine in the past. One article discussed the Hungarian famine of 1864, which was the result of excessive rainfall followed by drought, allowing very little to grow in the country. There was food shortages too during the Soviet rule of Hungary, which was one of the factors that led to the Hungarian uprising of 1952. Yet, that was all in the past. How hungry is Hungary now? Well, as silly as I've been making out this video to be, unfortunately Hungary does struggle with hunger issues. 500,000 children live in poverty in Hungary, and it's believed that 40,000 children of Hungary go without sufficient food, whether that be due to poverty or neglect. The government have issued free meals in schools and nurseries for over 300,000 children, yet these are only on weekdays, meaning they still struggle with food on the weekends and holiday breaks. Programs are in place to help parents feed their children, so it's good to see that Hungary are aiming to tackle their hunger problems. Though there are famine issues in Hungary, unfortunately issues like these are present throughout the world. Famine is still a huge issue across Africa, with Oxfam reporting that there are millions on the brink of starvation there. Even in countries that you may not stereotypically associate with hunger face issues. Feed America reported that 40 million people struggled with hunger in the United States. Hunger isn't an issue in just Hungary. Hunger affects the people worldwide, despite Hungary being the only nation seemingly named after it. Hungary was suggested by Adri Cortesia, and thanks to their suggestion, they will now be honoured as Name Explain's patron saint of Hungary. Do you have a good idea for somewhere that's name could be covered in a Name Explain video? If so, then please consider donating on Patreon. Just $1 a month helps keep the channel running and earns you a weekly chance to suggest somewhere to be turned into a video, and you too could be a Name Explain patron saint. Name Explain depends on awesome people like yourself to donate a small amount on a monthly basis to help keep the channel running. So thank you to all my patrons who do just this. It'd be amazing if you could donate on Patreon too, but please consider using your money to help end world famine too. Thank you.